Here on a Saturday evening. Welcome to We'll Sing and We'll Shout back here in Provo, Utah. I am actually upstairs in the kitchen here. I'm too lazy to go down to my office. But I wanted to get in here on schedule and have my show here tonight. I missed last night. It was my first miss in 58 days, I think. And so I was actually on a plane during this time frame. And then when we got to LA this morning, um, yeah, I could have done it then, but obviously that didn't make a lot of sense. So just scheduling challenges there, and it didn't make it on. I know that probably left some of you, many of you without any uh, enlightenment, and I apologize for that, for leaving you stranded in that way. But let's see what we can do to make up for it tonight. Uh, we just got back from our adventure in Thailand, which was about 10 days long. We left on the 31st. Today is the 11th. So that is 12 days, a little less than 12 days that we were gone. 11 and Heidi's correcting me here. 11 and a half ish.
Like 8:30 that night.
All right, so closer to 11. So we were gone for about 11 days, and it was an amazing journey. Really enjoyed it. Always wanted to go to Thailand ever since I was like 8 years old, and really glad that we had the opportunity. And we'll plan to go back there again for sure. Uh, just so many things to explore, so many things to learn and see and do. And so Thailand is definitely on our list of places that we want to return to. And I learned some things, learned a few things about Thailand. One of which is it's considered a second world country, which is kind of interesting. And my observation there would kind of support that. Yeah, it is a little different kind of experience there. And I would say, yeah, it is kind of I don't know how they categorize that, but it made sense to me that could fall into the category of a second world country. But the people there were all very delightful. A lot of what's it called? The land of a million smiling faces or something. But there were a lot of smiling faces, a lot of really helpful people, and just really enjoyed so much of that. A lot of poverty. You saw a lot of poverty in certain places. Certainly down there in Bangkok, a lot of people really struggling on the edge of things. Uh, Buddhism is very prominent there in the area around Bangkok and in the northern part of the country. We learned that down there in Phuket, which is where we spent the last 4 days, that area is 90% Muslim, which really kind of surprised me because you didn't see a whole lot of indicators that was the case. But that's I guess that was the missionaries that told us that. The land of Thailand is considered to be the land of smiles. So certainly there were a lot of smiles down there. Um, I had a class on world religions. I don't know if this was at Ohio State or at Wayne College, part of the University of Akron. I don't know when I took this course, but I did study Buddhism as a part of that, but I remembered very little. So I actually looked that up here a little bit tonight, and we're just kind of looking that over. And I'm going to read and study about that some more, but I think it's 2,500. Let's see here. I know you guys are all interested in this. Um, so 2,500 years ago, so 500 years before Christ, 2,500 years ago, Siddhartha Gautama, who probably didn't pronounce that correctly, but that was my best shot at it, who is the Buddha, focused on achieving enlightenment or nirvana and ending the cycle of suffering and rebirth. So a lot of interesting things that he learned and that he teaches and shares. And there are a lot of people that are now Buddhist because of his efforts and of his teachings. And he wrote some type of a book here that I'll have to dig into here. But I'm interested to learn more about this, and probably not going to make a huge transfer of belief, but but certainly we'll take it as an opportunity to learn and grow. And I think we can all do that about a lot of religious things. We can all learn more about what's going on out in the world around us, and there's no reason to be afraid of that. I did read something here about how when you've had an enlightenment and you are essentially on your way to nirvana, you can actually step back and postpone your own nirvana in an effort to spend time helping to lift and teach and help others on their path to nirvana. So maybe that's part of what I'm feeling here is, I've basically reached nirvana here with the joy and happiness and enlightenment that I've experienced. But I'm willing to step back for a period of time and help the rest of you losers to find your way to a more enlightened path and a better state of nirvana with your health and well-being. So I think there's some foundational truths there that we can grab a hold of and work with as we move forward here. But yeah, I'm studying and have more to share about Buddhism here as part of our religious instruction portion of our program. I know my sister will appreciate and enjoy that, and we'll get her amazing insights too because she's actually smarter than she looks. Um, don't take that as a compliment, though, sure. Um, so so yeah, my whole and I think that's really what I experienced there back in August when I first started doing this fasting protocol supported by these two nutraceuticals was a bit of an enlightenment. And as I started to go down that path with that program and lost 40 pounds in about 4 months, and then I started to understand the science behind what I was doing and how what I was really effectively doing was just keeping my insulin low. And when insulin low is low, the fat will go. And by keeping my insulin level low, by doing consistent intermittent fasting, 18 to 20 hours a day, which is what I was doing, I was able to keep my insulin low and the fat just disappeared. And it was amazing. It was amazing how reasonable it was. It wasn't some incredible diet effort. It wasn't some extreme exercise regimen. I mean, I was trying to make good diet decisions, but they were pretty much the same decisions that I had been making. And I was exercising, but it was pretty much the same amount of exercise that I had been doing. The difference was simply this: I was keeping my insulin level low. And by keeping my insulin low, the fat burning was able to kick in, and I was able to lose 40 pounds. That was just so amazing. That was such an amazing experience. That was such an amazing enlightenment for me. So I am here as proxy health Buddha to help you have your own enlightenment. And the amazing thing is I have already been able to do this with a number of people. I've been able to help number of people begin to change and transform their lives by embracing some simple truths and embracing a simple protocol that can change people's health and change people's life. And so I'm excited about how I can mix and learn from some of the concepts of Buddhism and apply them in my health and well-being. I was at a I was at a family history thing here about a month ago, that was early March, and Steve Young was the keynote speaker on a Saturday morning, and I shared that back at the time, but and Steve shared a lot of good stories and a lot of good things, but one of the most significant things he shared, and I think the big message that he wanted to get across was at this point in his life, he felt like the most important thing he could do was to help bring as much healing as he could to the world and bring as much healing to each individual that he had an opportunity to impact, bring as much healing as he could. He saw that as his mission and his purpose in life at this point was to simply bring as much healing as he could. And I thought, wow, that's really a neat message. Like I feel so in tune with that I think that I want to embrace that same message that we all can be a part of, but but likely only if we choose to, that we can be a part of bringing as much healing and I'm going to add in the words wholeness and healthiness as we can to the world, um, as we're able to. And I would accept and adopt that as my mission there, somewhat inspired by Steve, to do that, to get out and bring as much health and healing and happiness to the world as I can. And if some of that involves sharing some of the concepts of Buddhism, I'm going to be okay with that. So, but I wanted to just say a few things about my trip. I pretty much stayed on my fasting program during the early part of the trip, but partway through the trip, we realized that as part of the package that we purchased, we were supposed to be getting a free breakfast every morning, and it was probably available to us. But because I am in the habit, both Heidi and I are both in the habit of fasting through breakfast, we really weren't paying much attention to that until we got about partway through, and especially when we got down to Phuket and we saw this amazing buffet breakfast, and it was like, hey, I think that's actually part of our deal. Maybe we ought to think about eating that. And so I kind of decided when I got down to Phuket to just kind of, you know what, I've been doing this for almost 9 months, 8.5 months. I've been doing this fasting protocol, I've been doing this program. What if I just throw this aside for 4 or 5 days here and eat what I want and do what I want and just be on vacation and not worry about this? And I kind of decided to pretty much do that because I wanted to go ahead and eat that free breakfast, but I also didn't want to have to start my fast early afternoon in order to get my fast in every day. So I kind of decided, you know what, for the next few days, for the next 4 or 5 days, I'm just going to throw the fasting thing out the window and I'm just going to eat the way I want to. And then I did that. And that first morning we ate at the breakfast buffet, I hit it really hard. I don't know that it was 5 or 6,000 calories, but it felt like it, and it probably looked like it. And the next morning, I simply was not ready to eat. I just simply could not go hit that buffet again. I had eaten so much that my body was just like, "Nah, we're not doing that again. At least not this morning." And then the third morning, I did hit it again, but I didn't hit it as hard as I did the first morning. But we were eating later in the evenings then, and really kind of messed up my program. And then on the plane ride home, eating was sporadic. It was here and there and everywhere. So I'm very much off my program until today. I'm going to start my fast now. I just ate a salad, a nice big beautiful salad, and I ate some tuna poke that Catherine made. And starting my fast now, and I'll fast till noon tomorrow. Get a 16-hour fast in. Get back on my fasting program. We're going to change that up a little bit. Heidi and I have talked about this. We're actually going to plan to eat breakfast, but then start our fast early afternoon and do that regimen to where we will fast from, I think we're going to try to go 2:30 to, all right, well, 3:30 to 7:30. Be done by 3:30 in the afternoon, fast, and then have breakfast at 7:30 in the morning with Kenny. So we're going to try that regimen 5 days a week, and on the weekend we're going to have a little more flexibility, move things around so we can go out on a Friday night or whatever. So kind of change the program around some. But I did want to mention there at the Bangkok airport, we went and had some sushi at a Japanese restaurant. Heidi got something that she liked to eat, some kind of salad. She's not big on the raw fish, but but I wasn't full from the sushi, and there was a Burger King down there, and I really felt like having a cheeseburger, and I was really interested to see how the Burger King at the Bangkok airport would compare to the Burger King that I know back here in the good old US of A. Because my experience with Burger King in the last 20 years has never been positive. And it seems like when I was younger, I used to like Burger King and actually thought they produced pretty good food. But every time that I've gone in there in the recent decades, it has always been a disappointing experience. And so I wondered, what would Burger King be like here at the Bangkok airport? And so I got the Whopper with bacon, and it was actually pretty amazing. I was amazed at how good that burger was. It tasted really good. It was just it was really good quality, and it makes me wonder why Burger King can do such a good job in Bangkok and yet struggles to do a decent job here back home. And I don't have the answer for that, but it is a question that hangs heavily in my heart. So if any of you have any insights on why Burger King struggles so much, please do share. But we saw a lot of Burger King down there. We saw a lot of McDonald's. We saw a lot of 7-Eleven. My understanding was there are a total of 4,000 7-Elevens in the city of Bangkok. So lots of 7-Eleven around. And then they have some of their own versions of franchises and whatnot down there. There was a similar store to 7-Eleven called Tops. I think it was also a was it also a gas station, or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just another version of 7-Eleven, but called Tops there in Thailand. So that's those are the things that I wanted to share. Just kind of searching my mind here. Was there anything else? But wow, does it feel good to be home? We are done traveling here for a while. We may be going to the Dominican Republic in early June, but I don't know for sure about that. That would actually be a unicity trip that we may or may not make. Uh, Victoria, let's try this one. Stephanie, number 8 child. Stephanie is actually doing an internship in France, in southern France, this summer. She'll be down there working in a restaurant. She's in the culinary arts, so she's doing her internship down there. And we may try to figure out how to get to France this summer so we can pop in and visit her and kind of see what she's up to down there. So that's a possibility. We also learned that some of our in-laws are having a big birthday anniversary bash. I think I'm saying that right. Am I saying that right, Heidi? Is that both a birthday and an anniversary?
Oh, for Angela's parents?
Yeah.
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 His birthday,
Mhm.
his anniversary.
Okay, so July 30th down in Newport Beach. Is that what we heard? Uh,
27.
some kind of a dinner cruise with the in-laws that we might try to get down to Huntington Beach down in late July and catch that. So, but we don't have any more big vacations, any more big international trips scheduled until the fall. There in late October, we will fly over to Spain and get on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship, a brand new Royal Caribbean cruise ship, and we'll make 3 stops in Spain, and then we'll sail across the Atlantic for 9 or 10 days and end up in Fort Lauderdale. So that will be something to look forward to in the fall. But other than that, we're going to be home here working, and we've got a lot of work to do. We've got we've got a lot of we got a lot to make up for, and but I am going to be sharing daily, and I'm going to be reaching out through other platforms to share my message of health and wellness. But as it is here in Facebook, it is amongst my Facebook family, my wonderful, amazing Facebook family, that you get the whole story, that you get the whole sing and shout. And so tomorrow night will be Family History Night. We'll have something to share on that topic. And I'm going to take off for the rec center, go get some Saturday evening exercise and weightlifting in, and we will catch you tomorrow night. Take care.